In a small apartment in Paris, under a leaking roof and a flickering oil lamp, a man sits at a kitchen table turned into an easel. Around him are no students, no patrons, no critics, only silence, cheap paint, and the stubborn belief that he was meant to be an artist. This man is Henri Rousseau, a customs officer, who spent his life inspecting passports by day and painting jungles by night, even though he had never once left France. He was born in 1844 in Laval, into a family with little money and even fewer expectations. He worked ordinary jobs, played the violin on the side, and lived a life the world would not have noticed until he picked up a paintbrush. Rousseau had no formal training. He never studied anatomy, perspective, or technique. He simply painted what felt true in his heart, which is why when he unveiled his early works, the critics laughed. They called him childish, amateurish, naive. To them, his lions looked too gentle. His people looked too still. His jungles looked too impossible. Rousseau did not paint with the precision of the academies. He painted with the sincerity of a dreamer. And dreams, as we know, don't bother with realism. When people asked how he knew so much about tropical forests, he told them he had fought in the Mexican jungles. A dramatic story, but entirely untrue. The truth was quieter. Rousseau discovered his jungles in the botanical gardens of Paris, in children's storybooks, in exotic plants he saw at the World's Fair, and in the landscapes he imagined while drifting through the city's zoo. He painted not the world he lived in, but the world he wished existed. And maybe that is why his paintings feel like dreams. Lush, silent, suspended between childhood wonder and adult longing. A world where danger and innocence share the same breath. Rousseau worked slowly, painfully, stubbornly. He layered leaves one by one, obsessed over shades of green, and created jungles so dense you could almost smell the humidity. But the mockery never stopped. When he unveiled one of his masterpieces, Tiger in a Tropical Storm, a critic famously described it as the art of a child who has only ever seen a tiger in a picture book. And yet in the crowd, someone else saw something different. Pablo Picasso. The young Picasso stumbled upon Rousseau's painting in a junk shop and was stunned. Here was something new, not classical, not technical, but raw and visionary. Picasso immediately declared Rousseau a genius and later hosted a legendary banquet in his honor. Inviting the avant-garde of Paris, Rousseau arrived in a simple suit, violin in hand, believing finally that the art world had recognized him. History has recorded that dinner as a moment of irony, a mix of admiration and mockery. But Rousseau, ever sincere, thought it was a true celebration of his talent. There is something heartbreakingly pure about that. Rousseau devoted his entire life to painting, usually in poverty, often alone. He sold few works. He lived in small, rented rooms. When he died in 1910, only a handful of people attended his funeral. But art has a strange habit of rewarding the misunderstood. Years later, the world would look back and realize that Rousseau had seen something no one else could see. That simplicity could be profound, innocence could be radical, that imagination could be more truthful than accuracy. His greatest painting, The Dream, shows a woman reclining on a sofa in the middle of a wild jungle, surrounded by glowing eyes and silent creatures. Nothing about it makes logical sense, and yet it feels inevitable, complete as if we are looking directly into the subconscious of a man who spent his life dreaming. Today, Museums display his works with reverence. Students study the balance, the composition, the surreal beauty. Critics call him a pioneer of modern art, a father of the avant-garde, an artist far ahead of his time. But perhaps Rousseau would smile at all of this, because he never sought praise or fame, simply painted the worlds inside him and trusted that someday someone would understand. Henri Rousseau reminds us that genius doesn't always look polished, educated, or technically perfect. Sometimes it looks like a man alone in a small room, painting jungles he has never seen with a belief larger than the world outside his window. This was Henri Rousseau, the dreamer of worlds, a pioneer who didn't know he was one, the artist who proved that imagination is its own kind of truth. If this story moved you, please consider subscribing for more journeys into the lives, struggles, and spirits of the artists and thinkers who've shaped our world.